Greetings, folks. My name's Austin Emery, and I'm here today to introduce to you my sculpture proposal for the Eglinton Way, most specifically for the corner of Headington Avenue and Eglinton Avenue West. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's very exciting to be able to be a part of the community's development and progress as we come through this difficult time for both the neighborhood with the with the Crossrail construction, all the disruption that has been caused through that, and of course COVID. Through this project, we are going to inspire and educate and really bring a fresh new start to the area with the different sculptures that the artists will make, and my proposal will most definitely bring a huge amount of engagement and public input to the artwork that we will create. So let's dive in. I'll show you some images and explain to you what the artwork will be all about. Sculpture will be called EG, E-G, as in exempli gratia, or for example, which we will set an example through the creation of this artwork, an example of community, inclusion, and giving a sense of belonging through this creation of the landmark EG. An abbreviated form of the local community identity of Eglinton, and a phonetic pronunciation of the ovoid in nature, which represents fertilization, reproduction, and birth. EG will be positioned on the corner of Headington Avenue and Eglinton Avenue West. We can set it back at least a meter from the store frontage towards the white fence. This way we can ensure that the footfall curve, footway around the corner is not affected by the sculpture. We can put the sculpture at least a meter away from the building itself, thus ensuring full accessibility surrounding the sculpture, so people can enjoy walking around the sculpture three-dimensionally, taking it all in without affecting the sidewalk walkway. The sculpture will stand 1.8 meters tall, approximately, just a little over, and that is about 6 feet from the sidewalk level to the highest point, and it will be about 1 meter, call it nearly 3.5 feet at its widest point. The sculpture will be made of Indiana limestone, which is a very hard-wearing limestone used in buildings throughout North America, including the Royal York Hotel right here in downtown Toronto, and the Washington Capitol building in DC. Indiana limestone is a very hard-wearing limestone used, as I said, in throughout North America. It weathers well through our harsh climate, and although it's highly carvable using the correct and professional stone carving tools, it is not soft enough to carve without the use of those tools and without any knowledge of how to actually carve the stone. If you go to the foot of the Royal York Hotel, you can have a little feel of it yourself if you're so inclined. Built in 1928, you can see that the hotel has retained its carved detail very well. The stone holds up to the test of time and ages beautifully. Let me now get into the real grit and details of what this artwork and project is all about. Really about the engagement and the shared investment and collaborative involvement and commitment, community process focused on creating this artwork for the community, by the community. Having worked as a stone carver mason for over 20 years in London, UK, working on the historic buildings there, I really came to feel connected with the built environment, and as an artist have opened up my practice to really give the opportunity to members of the public to have this same connection, this same empowerment to create carvings, stone carvings for their own public space through this collaborative process of making public artwork together. Over the past decade, I have engaged hundreds of people through numerous projects, two of which have culminated in the assemblages of permanent large-scale artworks, now situated in London, UK. Having relocated to Toronto, I can now bring this amazing process to Eglinton Way. As we come together to carve stone, we share skills, ideas, conversation, we make friendships, we learn from each other, we grow as we transform the material, the stone, and change the physical space that we're making the sculpture for. As this is a group activity, we can and will adhere to any requirements regarding COVID regulations given at the time of the workshops, including social distancing, masks, and anything that we need to adhere to so we can roll this out safely during these challenging times. I'll work closely with Eglinton BIA and the community around to establish an appropriate public space for us to hold the workshops within. Most likely an indoor space, given our schedule is going to be working through the winter, given the sculpture needs to be finished and delivered early summertime next year, 2022. But I can manage the project from there. I will provide everything, including the tables and infrastructure, hand-forged masonry and carving tools that we have for people to carve their own stones, as well as the natural limestone and professional expert facilitator tutelage to really get people on their way so they can carve their stone as part of EGG. When this project is finished, when the workshops are finished, all the pieces will form the body of work. I will take them away to a studio space where egg will be assembled. This is when all the individual pieces, all the individuality becomes one entity combined as egg. So here you can see we're carving the initial block out, showing you the egg base and the plinth shaped formation, and then these stones one by one that are carved by participants. All of them have been taken off site for this process, by the way, for the assemblage, and they will be fixed using mortar, resin, stainless steel dowels, pretty much the same process as making a stone building, and finally capped with the top of the egg, which will be hand carved as well, just to cap things off and to finish that form. We have egg. So just to say, once this has been finally assembled, we will lift this using a crane truck into place in its entirety as one unit into the situ at the corner of Headington and Eglinton Avenue West. The creation of egg will not only use examples of people's artwork, it will, as an entire piece, set an example. It will become a landmark example representing inclusion and commonality and this collective process of engagement and creativity. This both recognizes people's individuality as well as the collective expression of the community, setting it into stone where it can become part of the community forevermore. Thank you so much for this opportunity once again, and I'm really excited to work with the Eglinton Way community on this project moving forward.